Well, welcome along to the Timeform Sporting Life Weekend Preview. David Orr joined by Kieran Clark and Matt Brocklebank to look ahead to the big betting race, the Coral Stewards Cup. Going to pull the Timeform ratings onto the screen for this. You'd expect it to be tight, and that's exactly what it is. Pure Sang top at 120, 119 for Billy Joe, 118 Cover Up and Strike Red, for whom Richard Fye has concerns about the fast ground over. Matt, top of the shop there, the Andrew Balding sprinter. Is he high on your short list?
He is, yeah, Dave. As you say, a very tightly knit handicap. In fact, a Stewards Cup where it was oversubscribed. You know, you've only got just over a fraction more than a stone split in top weight and bottom weight. So really, really competitive, as you'd expect. Pura Sangue, a good horse, a quality horse who brings rock-solid credentials into it. He's one of just 2 3-year-olds in this year's field. We've had 3 3-year-old winners in the past decade in this race.
Including from the Andrew Balding Yard.
Including from the Balding Yard. Balding obviously closely associated with it. His father won it with Locksong as well back in the day. Obviously a race that they seem to have targeted. And yeah, he comes out best. He's not won this season, has he? He's had the 4 starts. He shaped really well at first time out. Didn't quite go to plan at Haydock, but they pitched him into the King's Stand after that, you know. But again, I do feel with this horse, he's probably better with a little bit of juice in the ground. We've got some showers in the forecast, but it is good to firm, and it has been pretty quick throughout the week. But he bounced back with a good run last time at Sandown in the Coral Charge, and on the back of that, he's due to go up to a mark of 105 from 101. So he is officially the best handicapped horse, £4 ahead of the handicapper.
Let's have a look at the pace map. As you would expect, there's plenty of people wanting to go forward in a big sprint handicap. But, Kieran, the good news for punters, it looks to be spread across the entire field, the pace.
It does, Dave. I think we could end up in 2 groups, 3 groups. It could be all over the place here. We've got pace low in Rhythm and Hooves. We've got pace high with both the 2 drawn highest.
Apollo 1, is it?
Apollo 1, yeah. He's a real solid horse, Apollo 1. He'll be up with the pace as usual. Just looking at that, you've got those in the middle might get a little bit marooned, possibly. I think we'll probably end up in 2 groups. There doesn't seem to be any bias so far. We had a 5 furlong handicap for 3-year-olds here on Thursday that was dominated by those drawn low. We had a 6 furlong handicap for fillies here early in the week where they were spread across the track.
When they did the draw for the Stewards Cup, there seemed to be a bit of a scramble to get those high numbers early on. So
yeah, you weren't there for it this year, Dave. I saw you on telly last year picking numbers for Richard Fye.
Yeah, I was very good at it as well.
Must have been happy with you.
Well, Strike Red's owner liked to do his own off the back of last year's debate. I wasn't even involved, but he chose to do it himself, which I thought was a bit rude. There's a brilliant story about Alan Brazil and the one that he had to draw out from the... But I'll save that for later. That's for not on the recording. What we saw for that draw there, Kieran...
Yeah.
Low, Billy Joe, hold up horse. He was on the left-hand column, which means he's expected to be taken back when the stall's open. He's a horse on your radar. Are you worried about the setup for him, or do you think it's going to suit him?
I think a real strong pace at 6 furlongs will suit him. Now, yes, potentially he might need a bit of a stiffer track. He ran a cracker in the at Royal Ascot over 7. He ran here over 7 early in the week. He ran another good race. He's been going off favourite for those types of races. Now, it's the form of the Mick Appleby yard that really makes me fancy him. He had a 1-3 in the Morecambe. Chagrin won on Thursday. It's a yard going really, really well at present. And I just thought a double figure price there if he was worth a go, because he's definitely going to get this set up for him. Now, they've put headgear on for the first time. I don't think he's a bit of a shirker or a thinker, but could really concentrate him. And I just think he'll thrive off a strongly run race. He'll be finishing fast. Whether a sharp 6, it might be just a bit too sharp for him initially, but he'll definitely be finishing strongest of all, hopefully. And I just thought with the enhanced place terms, he was definitely worth a go, because he's becoming a real solid high-end handicapper who doesn't really run a bad race. He didn't run too great at Ascot a couple of runs ago, but apart from that, he looks solid. And he just lots to like about him.
Matt, I put up Farouz for the Sky Bet Dash last week. Badly drawn. Didn't run that badly considering that. What sort of chance would you give him in the Stewards Cup?
I like him. Yeah, Ferris. Trained by Jack Shannon, whose stats this year have been fantastic. Following Jack Shannon yard throughout the summer, you'd be well in profit. And let's not forget, he landed one of the big valuable handicaps at this very meeting last year with Johan in the Golden Mile. So I wonder if this might have been a target for Ferris all along, given that he's been to Goodwood once and he won quite nicely in a strong 5 furlong sprint handicap last spring. He ran some good races last year, 3rd to Shaquille. Tailed off a little bit towards the end of the season, but they gelded him over the winter, and he came back with those 2 wins on the all-weather and really was quite striking, particularly at Kempton. in early April. Now, he's since had 3 runs back on the turf, the first of which was when he finished third to Lethal Levi, another horse who's
Solid
in here
form,
as well. That is good form. I know you quite like Rumstar as well. He's actually a good bit better off with Lethal Levi on these terms. He's £8, gets an £8 swing with that horse. And then he went off quite short, relatively short anyway, for the Wokingham. He was only a 12-1 shot that day. He got bumped around. He did not get a clear run. And it happened again at York. As you say, he was drawn 14 of 14.
I was there, Matt. He had no chance from that
at York.
The course of the 2-day meeting, low draws dominated in the sprints. He was drawn 14 of 14.
And he met trouble. And
Yeah,
what I like is that Connor Beasley, who was on board that day, just completely accepted his fate immediately. Didn't go near him with the stick. The horse ran on really pleasingly still in the closing stages, and it just made me think that this is a horse still on good terms with himself. And if you actually look back to last year's race, Aberama Gold, now very different conditions, but he actually ran 7 days previously in the Sky Bet Dash as well. So I don't think it's a bad thing at all, the quick turnaround. And like I say, he did not have a hard race. Now he's £2 wrong officially because the handicap is going to drop him £2 for York, but I find that quite amazing, really, because he just didn't get a run at all. And I'm quite confident that he can be competitive off a mark in the high 90s. Look, he's £7 higher than when he won at Kempton. But yeah, I like him. He's going to need the breaks, Dave. As you know, this horse does. He needs to be ridden full up. But stall 12, I like to think that he might be given a toe into it from the horses that Kieran mentioned, drawn low towards the far side.
Good then. Can we make the case for Rumstar?
Yeah, so Rumstar was second in the race that Lethal Levi won at Newbury. Ferris was third, and I just thought he was a bit overpriced at 25s. I can forgive his run in the Wokingham. He finished second last, but I don't think he wants a stiff 6 furlongs. I think a real flat, sharpish 6 is what he wants. He won a nursery at this meeting a couple of years ago. And I just think he looks primed for a big run. Now, he ran in this race last year. Well, I say he ran in this race. He unseated his rider coming out of the stall, so he didn't have a jockey on, so hopefully they stay on board tomorrow. But Johnny Portman's going well at the minute. He's still, you're never going to get a short price about that yard. They always seem to be underestimated, but when the yard hits form, they are one worth following. And I'm just willing to forgive that run last time. I think if he hadn't have run in the Wokingham, he'd be coming here a 12-14-1 shot, and you can get double that. So, yeah, I think he's got a solid each-way chance. You can get enhanced place terms. Sky Bet going first 8. Now, you probably only get 18s with them rather than 25s elsewhere. But I do think, first 8, he's got a cracking chance. And I think that Newbury race, they would be the two. Considering Lethal Levi's now, 9-8-1?
We like that piece of form, don't we? I do
yeah.
got to mention 2 others as well. The other 3-year-old, I've got to mention 7 Questions, because we're all looking for kind of group horses in a handicap.
George Scott.
This horse won the Palace House at the start of the year, so we know he's a group winner. He's the other 3-year-old. He's got to defy a mark of 106. But the other one is Dark Trooper, obviously a massive run from potentially the unfavoured side in the Wokingham.
I really worry about the track for him, Matt. What do you think?
Runner-up at Ascot. Yeah, I do think maybe a really quick 6 furlongs on dry ground.
Downhill track.
Yeah, that could be an issue for him. I think he needed every yard, didn't he, of the stiff 6 at Ascot. He's a potential group horse, though, isn't he? I
think he'll end up in the champion sprint at the end of the year. I think he could be that good.
Where they end in the winners' enclosure tomorrow or Saturday, we shall find out. Kieran, selection time, Stewards Cup.
Yeah, Rumstar and Billy Joe each way for me, Dave. But I might have to back Ferris as well, given the case Matt's made for him at 33s.
So Ferris is on the radar, Matt. Is he the selection?
Yeah, he's got to be the each-way selection. Faith in Jack Shannon to get this horse turned around quickly after the luckless run at York last weekend.
Best bets elsewhere now. You've plenty to go at. Few meetings up and down the country. Final day of the Qatar Goodwood Festival. Go on, Kevin. What else have you got for us?
Well, Dave, I've been putting these best bets up daily, and I'm due a change of luck because I put up Fair Wind on the first day, who refused to race. I put up Defence Missile, who was a non-runner. So probably one of my strongest fancies of the week, actually. Keys Chorister in the Lily Langtree, trained by David Municier, owned by Clive Washbourne. If this horse wins, enjoy the celebrations, because he had a nice 2-year-old win at Sandown the other night and ran around the parade ring pretending he was an aeroplane, screaming, "This horse is an aeroplane." So, if he wins, there'll certainly be great celebrations. She wins, sorry, but I think she's a bit of a keen goer, but I think this race will be really teed up for her. She's dropping back in trip. She ran in the Ascot Gold Cup last time. 2 starts before that this season. She finished second in the Sagaro and the race at Sandown, the King Henry II, I think it's called. She's got real rock solid form. She should have won the Old Borough Cup last year at Haydock. Somehow got beat there by one of William Haggis's. But she wants a strongly run mile 3/4, which she's going to get. I don't think she'll pull a chance away because there's plenty of pace on. The Gosling horse at the top's probably going to give us a price. I think she's about 4-1. I'm really, really sweet on her. Harry Bentley on board, who's back from his stint in Hong Kong. Now he's been granted a licence to go back out there in September, so he'll be back busman's holiday in his own country. But I think she's got loads going for her. Keys Chorister, locally trained, 4-1. She'll do for me.
Keys Chorister for Kieran, Matt?
Yeah, it's not been a great week for Kevin Ryan so far as we record, with a couple of days to go. But I do think luck might change at the weekend. I'm going to have a nibble on Forza Auto, who's back on a good mark with the cheek pieces on in the sort of middle distance handicap. But best bet would be Jahangir in the 410, the Whispering Angel handicap. Gelding and Breathing Up really seems to have turned this horse around. He was quite impressive when he won at Thirsk, and going up to 7 furlongs is going to really suit him. He's a very well-bred horse, brother to the Yards Group 1 winner, Hello Yum Zane. That's the one.
I think the plan for this horse is the Eggo Cup, and he has to win tomorrow to get in.
So when we went to see Kevin last year, he was full of this horse as well, so he's going to get better as he gets
tall,
huge, isn't he?
And to bring it all together in a big seamless link, he was third at York to Pirasangway last year.
There you go. Talking to well-bred horses, my best bet is at Doncaster in the 4 o'clock. Waleef, who's probably the best bred horse in training. He's a half-brother to Baid and Hookham. He's found his level. He's not going to get to their sort of level, but he's a decent handicapper. Back up to 7 furlongs with a strong pace at Doncaster to aim at. I think we'll see Waleef return to winning ways for William Haggis and Kieran Fallon. Thanks to Kieran Clark, not Fallon, and to Matt for their selections. The best of luck with your own bets at Goodwood for the final day of the Qatar Goodwood Festival.